Hey everybody, how's it going? So today we're going to get started working on yet another bad MacBook. Here we have an A1707 that's not charging. Let's see if we can figure out why this A1707 is not charging and make it work again. The first thing we're going to do here is clean my desk off of any nasty coronavirus. Die, Corona. Die. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to clean the MacBook of any coronavirus. Die, Corona. Die. JP, thank you very much. Yes, they dropped off cookies. I actually had to chase Orhunter because he wasn't wearing his mask, so I didn't eat any of them. I actually got closer to a point where I can catch up to him. I've been doing my sprinting and my running. I got a lot more sprinting and running practice to do. Also, JP, I did remove the current sense resistor, but the current limiting resistor, but the reason I removed it is to get more brightness. So if I put it back there, I'd be back where I was before, trying to put too many volts into the LEDs. I'm excited to see what that halogen light's going to be like, halogen fiber, whatever, when it gets here. That's going to be sweet. All right, so as always, we unplug the charger. No, we unplug the battery, not the charger. What the hell? I'm starting to lose my mind. Let's see, how many amps it's taking? 5.1 volts, 17 milliamps, and then the charger turns off. What? One second, I hear auto-tune music in the background. Play better music. How does your IQ not go down playing that?
Listen to recorded song.
It is very.
You can't listen to good songs all the time. You gotta mix it up, you know? That's what I'm doing.
Can you play Master P, make him go, It's much better than this, but it's the same general idea behind it.
Throw
I'm gonna build a Bluetooth jammer. Actually.
Talking there too. Don't worry, it's gonna be a nice mix. Almost underneath it all. Two parts, I got the key in there. Go shoot this way now.
Make it stop. All right, so this is stuck at 5 volts, 24 milliamps. I need a Bluetooth jammer. I gotta make something that every time I hear shit like that playing, I can just turn it on and the speaker stops working.
Robust.
How's the supply of parts holding up? It's considerably slower. The problem there, since it's slower, is I have to order more because you have to go without for larger periods, which means outlaying larger amounts of capital. But that's what keeps it fun. You know, the really sad and fucked up part about this is that the bigger and more established the business is, the more likely it is to not go under during this time period. But I think it's, I've always been stocking shit, even when I was broke, even when I had $200 to my name. It was, a choice between having a smartphone or having an LP133 WX1. I would choose that. So I think that I'm going to be fine. Because if I don't have parts, it means people got to wait. But, like, Apple's closed. And if every other store doesn't have it, and I say, well, it's going to take a week, and everybody else says it's going to take, I don't know, to a month, I'm still better. We'll see how this comes out. No sneeze. All those years of holding in my sneezes, I was preparing for Corona. All right. So, I'm going to take all these little screws and put them into a baggie. Mug link broken on your site. Do I email hi? Yes? Yeah, sure. Hi. Email the hi. I didn't even know I had a mug link on my site. Oh my gosh! Alright, so let's take a look at this board under my microscope. That's my flickery. You know what? One sec, be right back. You throw like an Iraqi trying to hit George Bush. You missed.
I missed.
I feel like Bush. I dodged. Zalmal video. Look, that's so well routed you barely even see it's there.
What? Oh, shit, you're right. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, Paul's cable management is really nice when there's time. This is sweet looking.
Cool.
Wait a second.
No, hold on. I don't want him falling off. Just take 20 seconds. We're almost done.
Workman's comp?
Not worth it for 2 minutes.
I can use 45 days off paid.
Anel. There. Hey. Anel. Oh, he's not here. Fuck. What can we do for you?
Hey, I got a MacBook Pro up here.
What's your name?
David Neal. I got the email.
All right, let me find it. Oh, thank you. Here, try it out. Yeah. We got distracted by a customer. There's no front desk clerk since Kevin's at home. You have to bring back Kevin. All right. All right, this is the front microscope light. Better than nothing. No more blinking, at least. So dark, so lame. As you can see, there's a little bit of corrosion on this JTAG, the pads for this JTAG connector, which means there's probably corrosion under the CD3215. There's corrosion on the transistor that will let 5 volts in. And down here, there's corrosion there, which means you know it's going to be under the CD3215. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unscrew this connector here. You little fuck. That screw just tried to bounce away onto the floor. But he can't get away, because I heard you. Where did you go? Oh, the one moment I don't have a magnet at the end of my damn screwdriver.
I think no. That's gotta be wrong. Oh, it's not laying on the floor again.
Pretty and witty and wise.
Through here, and then along the ceiling and down.
Pretty? Okay. Where the fuck?
Channel that right there? Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on the Apple wheels that came out?
Didn't I show you this guy?
Let's just say it's for a different class of customer than me. What is this? What the fuck? How do you make?
Pepe was
I don't know, about 5 more feet.
That was artistic.
don't pull on it.
That was. Okay. I'm sure that I'll find the screw in just a second. Man, that screw really escaped for it. We made a run for it. I have spares, it's just I want to know where that one went. But I must let go. It must let go. I must let go.
Well, where are you gonna put this one? You gonna have to drill through. Oh, nice. Wait, so then who ran this game? Oh. Poor cable.
I could use 2 Cat 5s, Paul.
It's a little too late now.
What?
He's almost done.
No, that's not. No, it's not too late. What are you talking about? Hey,
He cut it already. What do you mean?
is it possible to make 2 Cat 5s?
Why? Get a
No,
get a switch, please.
I only need 2.
Then it's just doing this whole process all over
Yeah,
again.
she's doing it twice.
Oh,
We don't
wait.
have 2 boxes to be able to pull 2 cables.
Oh my god, customer. Fuck me. Okay. Someone get Kevin an antibody. Someone get Kevin an antibody. I need a... So this is dark with the polarizer filter, but soon I'm going to have a 150 watt light, and it's going to be crazy. Fiber optically piped into here. Oh, works better if you turn it on. Favorite Mac app purchase so far? I do not purchase Mac apps. Oh my gosh! Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb war. One, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb war. No Apple ID. I do not have an Apple ID. I do not use the Apple ID or the Macbook. You must have me mistaken with somebody else. You must have me mistaken with somebody else. He's in the ecosystem. I am in no ecosystem. I operate independently of any ecosystem. $20 volts, baby. 20 volts. Oh, God. This corroded on the other side, too. What? Damn, all 4 of these CD3215s are corroded to shit. What Apple ID? What are you talking about? I don't have an Apple ID. There's no Apple ID. No collusion. No collusion. People are lying about me on the internet and saying I have an Apple ID.
What? You have an Apple ID?
No.
You probably signed up for an Apple ID at one time or another.
I know, people are lying about me on the internet and saying I have an Apple ID.
You've never had to sign up for iCloud or anything like that.
Never.
I don't know. Even I have an Apple ID and I hate Apple. I've hated Apple since 1996 when I first met one.
What happened in 1996?
I met the iMac. The iMac that was a big CRT.
Oh, was that
I
the...
hated it ever since.
Was that before they did the color shit? With like the gray one?
Yeah, it was only the gray ones.
Oh, the Power PC.
They were terrible.
I used to play Sim Tower on that in grade school. Remember Sim Tower?
Somewhat, yeah.
What'd you hate about it?
I was trying to program a website through it for my school, for my high school. It was just awful. It was absolutely awful. I wound up making the most of the stuff at home on like Dreamweaver or something like that, and then bringing it into school.
HDMI. Oh crap, something showed up on the screen while I was away and I missed it. Kopaz can testify. Oh, snitches get stitches. Alright, so it's not giving us 20 volts on any port. So what I want to do here is see if PP3V42, wait no, PP3V3 underscore G3 hot is present on this board. So we're going to go over to the, what the fuck is this? Are you serious? Really? Really? Everything? Everything. Alright, the PP3V3 underscore G3 hot area is corroded. The ISL 9239 is corroded. This random bank of resistors is corroded. What the fuck? Everything? Everything. Oh my Jesus. Hello, Paul. A random bank of 20 resistors is corroded. Every CD3215 is corroded. The ISL 9239 area is corroded. The current sets resistors below it are corroded. And the PP3V3 underscore G3 hot area is totally corroded.
That sounds like it was in my queue.
I know. It's not fair. I actually was, because I took everything out of your queue so you could do the cabling. And everything that I took out of your queue is a missing PM Sleep S5L or this bullshit. That was actually yesterday. No, that was my cue. Eat my balls, Mercia. I can't afford a basic condo, David, and I'm the owner of the business. Good luck with that one. This board is bullshit. Okay, so let's see if do I even have pp3v3 underscore g3 hot or it's enabled. What?
No, it won't.
That thing is junk. That shelf is made of pure Staten Island.
Could you at least put it on wheels so we can move it?
Can you at least go to the Apple store and get us some wheels, Anil? At the very least. Have you seen the Apple wheels, Paul?
I've not seen Apple wheels.
They're $800.
What do they do?
They're round and they allow for travel.
On what?
That you attach them to your Mac Pro. What? Paul Daniels' software just froze on me. Mr. Daniels! Why is it not allowing me to drag it around the screen? Oh, because my fume extractor was hitting the control key. Whoops. Mr. Daniels, why does your software not say that I had the control key stuck down? Pin 10. It is not my destiny. No Apple ID. I do not have an Apple ID. I do not use the Apple ID. I am not Apple affiliated. No collusion. No collusion. So my enable is there. So the ISL 9239 is doing its job. All right, what's next? pp3v3 underscore g3 hot is going to be on this resistor over here. And that's present. So pp3v3 underscore g3 hot is present. That's not our problem. Our issue is going to be that one of these four CD3215s is dead. Now, how do you tell which one of the four CD3215s is dead when every single one of them is corroded? Well, that's an excellent question. I'm going to start with the one that is the most corroded over here, starting with that little cap that's next to it. So we're going to knock off that capacitor. And remember, this is me working on the board, not Paul. We're going to make this an easy one if it kills us. This board is going to solve itself. You will see. Alright, I'm guessing that cap we're shorting the LDO on the CD3215 to ground, because there's an LDO inside of it. Let's see if we get any change. Erica was streaming and it was 27 degrees and she didn't have her coat on, and then the door got blown open by the wind. So the door got blown open while she was right next to it and she had short sleeves on. So she screams, "Oh my gosh!" So I clipped it. She's not very excited about it, but I think it's an adorable noise. All right. Now remember, each CD3215 has an LDO attached to it. So if I can find the CD3215 whose LDO is putting out less than the 3.3 volts, typically that's the one that is at fault. They're all doing 3.4 though. So I'm going to start with the one that had the most corrosion. Well, how about we try it this way? Yeah, how do I pick these shitty boards? Whoops. I thought you were working on the super screwed one. This was the super screwed one. The cap right next to it was the most corroded of everything. Indeed, Francis, indeed. Aaron E is here. Everyone, say hello to Aaron E in the chat. One of our highly qualified detectives here at Rossman Repair. Is he a detective? Is he highly connected? Or is he a 14-year-old that's just really good at using Google? Who knows? Who knows? Fuck. Fuck. Da, 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 da. Get your CD 3215s at store.rossmangroup.com. It's store.rossmangroup.com. Store.rossmangroup, store.rossmangroup, store.rossmangroup.com. 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 Store.rossmangroup, store.rossmangroup, store.rossmangroup.com. Oh, fuck me. Stop that. What the fuck are you doing? Okay, that's not even remotely going to be soldered properly. Yeah, god damn it. I tried to do two at the same time, and I failed. Every man's dream. Junk. Wait, now I'm gonna melt this one while I'm doing that. How stupid are you? Okay. Let's just see how fucked in you... Yeah, next. You dumbass. Not my day. Alright, I gotta get some for the other side of the board. Hey. Piernov is here. Everyone say hello to our esteemed guest, talented programmer, board repair technician, engineer extraordinaire, hailing from France, Mr. Piernov. Engineer extraordinaire or copy and paster from Stack Overflow? The world will never know. The world will never know. So, the way to actually do this properly is when you put the chip on the board, you push, and then you scratch it. Now, if when you scratch it, it moves, it means that there's not enough surface tension for it to stay on the board, which means it's probably not lined up right with the pads. Once you have it in a position where you can scratch the chip after you've pushed it down and it doesn't move more than the distance of or the diameter of a single pad, then you're good to go with your hot air. But don't hot air until you've done that. And I forgot to do that because I haven't really done it in a while. And yeah. So. Not again. No. I need the bigger nozzle. That's what I need. I'm using the 8mm instead of the 12mm, and I'm used to using the 12mm for this, where it behaves differently. Yeah, I got my air set to where I usually have it for the 12mm nozzle, and I'm on the 8. Yep. Alright, that side's done. Then we do the other side next. Actually, you know what would be really nice is if this side worked without me having to do anything. Wouldn't that be sweet? So let's rapid cool that shit. Rapido cool. $20. Beautiful. Now I'm just going to put that capacitor back and reflow all the nasty sections. It's taking 1 amp, which means it has the ability to turn on and is doing so. So the reason I tested it before replacing the other ones is now I know the other ones were not really causing me a big issue. So I'm going to put that cap back on that I took off. And we got a lot of basic cleaning to do. Also, the reason I did a lot of reflow rather than replace all those other components is even if they're just barely attached, it's really important to me that I have a general idea of where I am on the board, or like how much work do I need to do. I need to see a light at the end of the tunnel, because at least now there's a point to me going over every single one of those components. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. I know that the thing has the capability to turn on, whereas if it does not have that capability to turn on, then I do not invest all of this time into it. It's kind of the same with anything in life. You need to see a light at the end of the tunnel in order for what you're doing to be worth it. You know, you need to see the Zawantaneo at the end of the prison sentence.
What can I do for you?
You're white.
And here, Louis, here. Can I work now? You guys are all interrupting me for the stupidest shit.
How can I help you?
Seen Linus's new video? He actually spouts a bunch of common sense.
What about?
Like really good common sense about Apple's new wheels. And it's not really about Apple's new wheels. It's about Apple and the stunts that they constantly pull just to drum up conversations about them. It's a good load of common sense that he just spouted out in that video that he uploaded just a couple hours ago.
I'll watch it. That my boy with the 40 corroded random things is working.
Seriously? Oh, alright.
I reflowed all of them and I just jiggled the resistors because I wanted to see if it would actually turn on before I wasted time on it. After I replace my CD3215s, it takes an amp.
Cool.
Now I have to replace all those little fucking resistors because I'm not going to leave them there like that.
Or just try touching up the sides. If they turn silver, they're good.
They can't turn silver because the only part that's silver is on the bottom.
Oh, no.
It's the point where, like...
None of that has been tried to be sorted through. The only thing that's correct is the 00165. Okay, Anel ruined that too.
Anel ruined it?
I sorted it. I sorted all of them.
Sounds like he used the word ruin. This is 00138 on it. This is not 00138.
Are the ones in the back?
No. This is the 00281 that I was looking for. I need to remember to fix this later.
You need to just dump them all out on the ground.
You could be here. Are you able to ship stuff overseas in these conditions? Yes, but I added a page to my site that explains why I don't use First Class Mail International anymore. And I expect a bunch of people to be mad and hate me over it, and oh well. I only use Priority Mail or Express Mail for international shipments now. No more first class. Screw that. I'm tired of losing money. At some point, you look at the fact that over 50% of your international shipments are lost that go through first class mail, and you're done losing money. So now when people want to buy stuff internationally, I'm sure I'm going to lose out on international sales because of it. It's just, like, if they're losing half of the packages, then it's not even like the international sales are good anyway. But yes, I am shipping internationally. It's just, I guess you got to buy enough to make it worth the priority or express mail. Come on. Come on. Okay. I miss having First Class Mail International on my site. I really do. It was a way that you could pay $7 or $15 and get a bunch of chips and little small parts and stuff shipped all over the world. I thought, this is too good to be true. This is too cheap. And then I saw the rate of lost packages, and I realized it is too good to be true. First class mail is why we can't have nice things. No margaritas, Travis. I'm having bad enough luck while sober fixing boards today. That CD3215 soldering job was a joke. Embarrassed by how bad it was. Okay. Remember, technically the board is working, and there are solder joints into these components. But I want this board to leave here with the same likelihood of failure that it would have if it just left an Apple store. Actually, let me go back on that. I would prefer that this leave this store a ThinkPad. But given that it can't, I would prefer that it not be hindered any further in being reliable as a result of my repair. And there are a lot of people out there that will say it's never going to be as good as it was before Lewis fixed it. And I want to be able, with all of the jobs we do here, to be able to say bullshit. Balls to that. And liquid damage repairs can often not be reliable if you leave shit there that shouldn't be. And over experience with time, you know what should and shouldn't be left there. Like, you know. You know. If there was a way I could transform this into a ThinkPad, I would. And this customer could leave understanding what true reliability is in their computer. Why is there a resistor stuck in there? Get the fuck out of there. A cap to ground on a small signal line is never going to be something that's a real bother. In terms of like having to worry about a potential short to ground. Also, the resistors that we're replacing were ones that had no metal on the side. These have metal on the side, so they're refurbishable. Jeez. Everything on this board is just disgusting. I tried to Coleco wall and nobody bought them back in 2014. I actually wound up giving one of them to a homeless guy that walked in. He was so fucking surprised. I was trying to sell this ThinkPad in the window. I put it up at some point half the price of what I actually paid for it. And still nobody bought it. And this one dude just walks in and he's clearly homeless and he's like asking about fixing this total fucking piece of garbage machine that he brought in that he needed for a job or whatever. And I was like, how about... I don't know what came over me that day. I must have been high or drunk or something. I just said, here you go. Went to the window, gave him a nice ThinkPad. Like, it wasn't a super high-end one. It was probably like somewhere in the $300 to $700 range. But still, I just said, here you go. Enjoy. I hope he did something with it. He better not have sold it for crack money like to most of the homeless people that I... It's so annoying when a homeless guy says, I'm hungry. And then I go, oh, well, I was on my way to Mazzetto, a 5-star restaurant where lunch is going to cost $40. Come with me and I'll get you whatever you want. Well, no, I'd rather just have $10. Oh, that's because you're not hungry. You're fiending for some crack or something. Go away. Man, there are so many times I've tried to help homeless people that said that they were hungry. Man, it's so crazy how they're never actually hungry. Imagine. So one guy, San Diego, in December 2016, fucking threw the food at me. Left this restaurant, I had some truffled gnocchi. You know, maybe gnocchi's not your thing, I get it, but still, it was good. It's like a $35 dish. I'm walking back to my hotel. I took it to go, because I had eaten way too much of the other stuff. This guy says I'm hungry. I said, here you go, you could have it. He fucking throws it at me. He throws it at me. I go home and I'm filled with gnocchi. Oh. It's a lovely fight on Christmas. It's like, so when you live in New York and you see that someone's begging and begging and begging for $1 for anything because they're about to starve and die, and you see a bunch of people just walk by and pretend they're not there, it's not that everybody is like they're happy to see that. It's just that there's only so many times that you can hand someone food and then have them literally throw the food in your face to the point where it's dripping down your shirt. And it's like, I was going to eat that as a midnight snack later, but now I'm wearing it. Before you just say, fuck this, I'm done. And you just tune it out. And it's sad. It's sad. It's not... Humans aren't designed for this. You know, humans are not designed to see someone suffering right down the street from them and not do anything about it. Like, I think that there are people that, you know, if someone fucks with you for years and years and years and years, and then you see them suffering, okay, that's one thing. But if it's someone you don't know, hasn't really bothered you, like, we're not designed as people to see that happening and just let it go without trying to help or do something. But New York really brings that out. It'll bring it out in you. It doesn't take long to bring it out in people either. You have that experience happen 5 or 10 times and you're done. Oh, I remember in the old when I was using 251 West 30th Street. One of my employees was stuck because of the F train. It was a really, really hot summer. Boiling hot summer. And the one good thing about this place that I was renting is that it was this basement with this insane air conditioner that just pumped all the time. And it was right next to a homeless shelter. So there are these people out there, and they were sweating their balls off. They're also kind of hungry. So I said, if you help me pack boxes for a few hours, I figured it was $50 or $100. Whether $50 or $100, but it's like, help me pack all these boxes. I'll buy you food. Here's either $50 or $100. And hey, I'm just saying, in there, it's 99 degrees, no air conditioning, and 5% humidity. In my basement, it's 68 degrees, nice and cool. And how are you going to fuck up packing boxes? Well, the guy packed some of the boxes. And he steals some screens. He stole from the RMA pile, too. That's the funny thing. He didn't steal the ones that were worth money. He stole the broken ones that needed to go back to the vendor. It's like, what are you doing? You're homeless. What are you going to do? Open an eBay account? Are you fucking kidding? How are you going to sell LP154 WP4 TLA1s? Really? Really now? What are you going to do? And one of the people that worked at the studio I worked at before that, his name was Dino. He was the one that came out with that if you're going to be the bitch, be the whole bitch concept that I talked about in a video that I did 4 years ago. If you're going to be the bitch, be the whole bitch, not a half bitch. And he had been in and out of prison like more times than I can count. That dude's got a criminal record that's longer than Apple's fuck-ups in engineering. Like that's saying something. We got along very well, though. It was really weird because at this recording studio, like, I was quiet. I wore my lame-ass Docker pants and polo shirt to meet my customers and all that back when I was stupid enough to think dressing well actually made a difference in people's perception of me. And he didn't get along with anybody at that studio. But for some reason, he got along with me real well. And one of the things, he's like, man, these musicians, they always trying to... He had this really thick Louisiana, like, southern down accent. Like, man, all these musician motherfuckers, man, trying to get famous. Holy motherfucker. He hated them all because they were all so fake. But one of the things that he had told me as a story, when after I had this happen to me and I was depressed over it, he said, one thing you got to consider, he said, you think that every homeless person that you meet is like you, but they just had one or two things happen to them that fucked them up in life. And the reality is that the way that a lot of people wind up becoming homeless is he said was, well, first you have, let's say you lose your job. Oh, fuck, I lost my job. And then you lose your girlfriend because you got pissed off at her, or maybe something happened. Then you lose your girlfriend. And then you lose some of your friends. And then you have like one friend left that's willing to let you sleep on his couch. And you overstay your welcome for 3 months. And then after that, when he says, listen, I'm about to move in with my girlfriend, I need you to just kind of start getting ready to leave, you steal his checkbook and you take all his shit. And then you wind up going on the street. And maybe you find someone that's willing to let you sleep on their couch. And then you steal all their shit. And then you get to a point where you don't have anybody that you can call because you have fucked everybody over. Because if you had something like this happen to you, there's somebody there somebody in your life who you've helped at some point, or you've known, or you were friends with, that's going to let you sleep on your couch. Why is nobody willing to let them do that? And I said, well, I don't think that's the case. And he's like, no, you know why? You know how I know it's the case? And I go, why? And he goes, because I've fucking done it. And then he was telling me all the stories about when he was, like cracked out and everything, of all the people that he fucked over and the terrible things he did. And it was interesting because he had been homeless numerous times and he had zero sympathy for the homeless in New York City, like none. He had negative sympathy for them. And I had a lot. Anyway, I don't know how I got into that diatribe, but... this has absolutely nothing to do with board repair. It would be nice if I'm carrying food down the street and a homeless guy says I'm hungry and I just give him a $20 meal. If like one time in my existence in New York City, they would just say thank you. Or not even thank you, just take the food and give me some indication that you're going to eat it without throwing it in my face. But I'm asking too much. He was a good dude at heart. I just think that he, missed out on something. Upbringing, I don't know. I really hope the best for him. I haven't spoken to him in 9 years now. I miss that guy. We got along really well. We were good friends. Like, he was one of those people that I could go to advice to about just about anything. And I learned a lot from him. Really did. He had a keen eye for dealing with people. Like figuring out, he was very good at telling the personality types of different people. He always knew when someone was trying to get something out of me for nothing, and like sometimes I wouldn't see it. I wouldn't see it at all. And then a month or two later, like they'd try to slip it in there and try to ask for something they had no right to. And he would go, "See, I told you." He was really good at that stuff. I learned a lot about people from Dino. I kind of wish that he was still around. I miss Dino. I miss my friend. It's just interesting, the more you do things that you didn't think that you were going to do, or the more, job-wise, the strange corridors of the world that you wind up going down. More interesting people you meet that you never in a million years would think that you wind up calling a good friend. I learned a lot from Dino. He was actually the one that called out my first business partner before I even said anything. He was the one that said to watch out. He was the one that knew that the guy was going to eventually someday wind up offering me a loan or a partnership 6 months before it ever even happened. And that was at the point where, everybody thought, to people who were 20 years old, who are broke, working for free in a recording studio in exchange for being able to use it as their office, that guy seemed rich at the time. And he was the one that brought up that maybe you should think twice. He was the one that brought that up. He said, how many couches can you sleep on before you end up on the street? How many people do you know that would be totally okay with you that would rather their couch be empty? Let me rephrase that. He said something along the lines of, how many people do you know that would rather you be on the street than their couch not be empty? Something like that. And he said, even you, he brought up, he's like, and he wasn't trying to offend me or anything, because we got along. He's like, even you, the way you talk and deal with people, he was referring to the fact that I always put my foot in my mouth and that I have no social skills. And he was right. All right, let me get an ISO 9239. Hello. Does Kevin still have an STD?
No, I don't think so, at least.
You have chop? Yep. Oh. Are those AirPods?
They were a gift. I didn't buy them myself.
You're just holding them for somebody else?
Yep.
You're just holding them for... Like 2 hours of work. Wait a second, that's alcohol, not flux. This is still crazy. Look at this. Not only does this board have everything written on it as to what the chips are, the BGAs have a square around them. Like that's just insanity. That's fucking crazy. Wait a second, why do I see the pads on the side of this ISL chip? Ah, because you weren't soldered on. Now you are. See how it just moved over? Ah! Today is not my day! Son of a bitch! I can't believe I just did that! Ah! I just smacked it. Motherfucker. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You're faster than me, so it doesn't matter. Okay. DVD writer?
Yeah. No. Blu-ray writer.
What's that for?
No, I'm taking a look at a PC that I saw advertised, seeing how much it would actually be. But all they offer you is one M2 at 240 gigabytes. I can't get additional storage. I think there's no extra bay.
That's a laptop, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's not enough, especially for a gaming computer. 240 gigabytes, that's shit in a gaming computer.
At least it's not soldered on.
Yeah. They don't offer any of that.
How's Phoebe the kitten?
She's good. You're gonna make me play some really... Wait, I know what you play.
You play the music based on the YouTube picture. I get it. Those
Then he comes to me, he's like,
Is that techno or a tech ho?
the what?
Tech ho. Look at how nice those cables came out. That's sexy.
I know, they look really, really nice.
You can't really see it.
Nope.
And I have an HDMI switcher over there, so you'll be able to switch between the different things. Then I just get the camera set up, and it's going to be beautiful. Pretty. And witty.
How was BlackBerry?
She's doing well. Mr. Clinton's starting to lose his eyesight.
Why?
He's old.
Wait, how can you tell? Is it just like he's
When I throw something on the ground, he sniffs and he tries to find it through sniffing, but he doesn't find it through like seeing.
oh shit.
So let's say I used to throw a treat,
Yeah.
he would jump and steal it from the other cat immediately. But now he has to sniff around to find it, and he doesn't. I know that he's not being polite. This has nothing to do with politeness, and he's been doing it more often. The worst thing about cats is that you outlive them.
Yeah.
It's,
You should get a parrot or something. Those outlive us all the time.
well, no, a parrot wouldn't outlive anything.
Well, not you.
I'd have a parrot for a day before it's. There'd just be a bunch of feathers everywhere.
Yeah, this guy I know, the parrot's from his grandfather, who died, and he came. Fucking hilarious. Parrots live 80 to 90 years old.
Remember when we had a bird in the old store?
Yeah, those fuckers live long too.
The thing is, they shit on
They live
everything.
Like 25 years.
They pooped on everything. Is there a way you can install a diaper on the bird and let them out? They were cute. It's just the pooping on everything was annoying.
The strange part is that my cat never tried to eat them. I don't get it. Was there like a mutual thing where...
Fufu's has got to be. There's something wrong with him.
I don't know.
He has some sort of identity disorder.
No, he ate a bird. What do you mean? He killed the bird right in front
Oh yeah, on your mom's table.
of Yeah, on my mom's table. Like right in front of her.
That's fucked.
But I'm like, and you see, I'm like, they're bothering you.
Remember when Milan said he was going to bring the bow and the arrow to work because the bird pooped it? The bird pooped on him.
That was going
And he said,
on his head.
No, I thought a bird pooping on you was good luck. Apparently in Albania, a bird pooping on you is good luck. In Serbia, a bird pooping on you is bad luck. But he was going to take his bow and arrow.
Oh my god. Yeah, those birds were something. That was funny having people come in and see birds fly.
I like
They
that.
would duck, they would go, whoo.
Yeah, because they flew really fast.
Yeah.
What happened to those birds? Who has them now?
I gave them to Vanera, who gave them to someone. No, I actually gave it to her mom, and then her mom gave it to somebody.
Did Varsia eat them?
No. He's scared of them.
Oh, that's...
I couldn't get any cat to kill those fuckers. I don't get it.
Mr. Clinton would have eaten them immediately, but back
think
when he
so?
could see properly. I'm probably going to bring him to the vet for that. We'll get some kitty eyeglasses. Kitty eyeglasses. Spectacles. All right, ISL 9239. A parrot does not live for 50 years. In my house, a parrot would live for maybe 2 hours. Half an hour if Mr. Clinton's having good eyesight that day. Oh no. Why didn't you just leave well enough alone when it turned on an hour ago? Sigh.
I want to work back here.
Huh?
I want to work back here.
Why?
It's cool back here.
It's too cold. I have to turn the AC off.
Oh, it's beautiful.
But my board that I after I replaced everything, now no worky.
Boiling hot up front.
Did I forget to put something on? PP3V3 is now 2.9 instead of 3.3. Why are you 2.9 instead of 3.3? What the fuck? What the fuck? No. No. I should have left well enough alone. Alright, what did I do? Let's see, I put this cap back on.
Oh shit. Drill? No, roll in here.
It was.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's over on your wife's
Maybe I should take that cap off? It has to be something that I changed. From the time that it worked to the time that it did not. That cap is nasty, but doesn't really have anything to do with this. Unplug. Thank you for streaming. It gives me something interesting to listen to in the background. Did Eric ever get that cookie? Which cookie? I'm sorry. I don't... My mind is kind of broken at the moment. I'm mourning the last hour that I spent on this rabbit hole because I wasn't smart enough to leave well enough alone. I chat with Amscope about ring light. I believe you got the halogen one. They have LED, which is comparable to halogen. LED lasts longer, not as hot. Yeah, it's also 3 times as expensive, and I don't have any time to chat because I have to figure out this board that worked an hour ago and doesn't work now. But thank you. I would, it's just I don't have the bandwidth for that at the moment. I would need an assistant here to do that, or I would need someone to fix this board while I do that. I cannot throw this board in the garbage. I haven't invested too much time into it. Perhaps I shouldn't replace the CD3215s that are on the other side. Maybe they died at the same time that this happened, because nothing that I touched should affect this. Paul, when you have 5 volts on USB-C, do you have 2.9 volt PP3V3 or 3.3 volt? Does it always? So it's never a 2.9 even when you only have 5 volts on DCN?
I don't think so, no.
That
I've been trolled by diode. No, Copaz, because if you were here, then none of these things would get done right. I remember on an old stream that I did, there was a diode when I was stuck at 2.9. But why would the diode fail when it was working just before? And especially when when the diode wasn't really corroded. Not that that would even matter. The diode is a fairly strong component there. It's not a sissy one. It's not something that would die easily. I'd like it to be the diode, don't get it twisted. I'm rooting for that, but I don't think that's what it is. That's not what it is at all. Alright, let's go full steam ahead here. We had two other corroded CD3215s. Maybe their time has come. Also, I could check and see what those resistors were for in that area. That I was replacing a bunch of crap by. P1VS4, that's not even close. PP bus PMIC, that has nothing to do with the CD3215s. VCCIO VVST, VCCIO for the CPU, that has nothing to do with that. Here is 2-hour salary for Copaz. They $5. That's inflated. Work. Ah, another one. Stop that resistor. I like your Q-tip mod for the hot tweezer station.
Fucking speaker.
Dun 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 dun.
Oh my god, Lewis.
Yeah. It keeps coming out after I'm done with it. All right. Any change? No change. Let's. All right. Is it going to have something to do with the 3.3 volt regulator? How did Lewis know the solder underneath the chip had melted enough? It told me. Alright, so that's not a short to ground on it because it's 10 kiloohms. 10 kiloohms on PP3V3 is pretty much what I would expect. Why are we getting 2.9 instead of 3.3? Something fucked up is going on here. We missing this little capacitor? I forgot to put on the capacitor, didn't I? I did forget to put on the capacitor. Aha. Let's see, is capacitor on donor? It is. C6907 was gone. Huh? I need my VBST. My V-Boost. How did I miss that? You realize if I had just left the corroded shit, half corroded shit on there, fluxed it and ultrasonicked it, it would be fine. It was this crazy pursuit of perfection that caused me to replace everything, that caused me to forget about this piece, that caused me to spend an extra hour on this that I could have spent on other customers' devices, who are now all going to be angry that they're not done yet. I think I did a video on perfectionism 6.5 years ago, and it would be about time that I start listening to my own effing advice. Fucked up part is not a single one of you watching in the chat told me that I was missing that cap. You all watched knowing it was missing and you didn't care. Shame. 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 Now we're boot looping. Well, boot looping is better than nothing. $20 volts, 1 amp. Bam! So now let's plug this thing into a screen and see what happens. First, I'm going to clean the desk, which has become more and more filthy. That flux is spooging and spooging and spooging there. Chris Kelly says, I was listening and not watching. Forgive me, I failed you. You're not forgiven. Mario says, I watched in silence for the fun and entertainment. Someone ban him. Someone ban everybody in this chat. Mods, ban every single person who's here. All 300 of them. Every last one of them. All of them. Actually, all 242 of you are banned. You all watch that for an hour and a half and let it continue. I am not above holding other people responsible for my mistake. Welcome to Rossman Repair Group. Happens every day. All right, let's see. Let's see if we get anything on the screen. You know, the cool thing about this store is that there's actual space to use a real ladder rather than the other ladder that we were using.
It's amazing.
Okay. If it shows me the battery low symbol, it means it got an image, and I'm a happy man. I watched in silence for the entertainment. Man, if only I had the acting skills of Liam Neeson, I'd have some things to say to you on camera right now. But I don't have the acting skills of Liam Neeson. So I just ruin it.
Not many people do.
But just so you know, if I had the acting skills of Liam Neeson, I'd say something to you. And it would scare you. It would scare you away from ever doing that again.
Hit me. Cat. Run.
Cat?
Hit me. Cat. Run.
Why take 25 milliamps? Hiss. You were just taking a nap. Go back to taking a nap. Where's the alcohol spray bottle? That's Windex.
You have alcohol bottle, no spray thing.
Oh, well. Okay. You're busy yelling at your sewing machine. .2 amps, 1.3 amps, 800 milliamps, 700 milliamps, 785, 786.
Wait, you're 787?
Can we get 737? Yes! Low battery! Beautiful. All right, this works. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something. I like to typically sum up exactly what I did, what I figured out, and what path I took, and why when I do these videos, and at the end of it, today, I don't I'm just happy to be done. See ya all in the next video. Except for all you motherfuckers that watched as I spent an hour screwing at this because C6907 was missing. How dare you? How dare you? You mean nothing to me. You mean nothing.